Good day, everyone. You are welcome to this wonderful episode of the System Podcast. Today, our topic is Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, AKTH, and Medical School. Truth, lies, and everything in between. Now, we'll talk about so many things with regards to this topic. My name is Yauza Haruna. I'm a 500 level MBBS student in Bahrain University Kano /AKTH, and here I'll be the one talking about some of this concept based on my experience. Now, I hold charge of everything I say here, as you may find some of the words not correlating with you, because as I say, it's based on my experience. Everybody could experience things in different way, but in general, most people are experiencing what I'm experiencing in the university, as this is what I would be talking about. Now, we'll be talking about the overview of AKTH and its role in medical training. Okay, first of all, let's talk about the brief history of Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, because you have to know how everything started. In late 1988, a local hospital was attached to the university for teaching purpose, and it was first called Bahrain University Teaching Hospital, which was later converted to Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. So it is a 500-bed hospital, but with the fast increasing of projects, it might have surpassed that 500, but as for now, it is 500-bed hospital. It is located along Zaria Road, Kano. It belongs to federal government of Nigeria, and it is under the protection and vision and supervision of the Ministry of Health, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, the current chief medical director of this hospital is Professor Abdulrahman Sheshe, who is a general surgeon. Now, the main function of this hospital are three. This is training, services, and research. The training aspect is not just medical students. There are so many people training through the hospital, from the resident doctors themselves, from down to the other auxiliary people like the nursing, talking about those in the allied health sciences, and even school of post-basic nursing, so many other things. Pharmacy students come for internship too there. And also it provides services, like people could come and get their services, obstetric service, gastro service, surgical service. So many services are done there. I forgot to mention that there are many departments throughout the hospital, but we can classify them into surgery, medicine, and the community medicine or preventive medicine. And there are different subspecialty under this. So the hospital is kind of packed up with a lot. So for the research, there's a lot of research and grants being given to Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital staffs to run a lot of surgery, to run a lot of researches. So a lot of researches are going on in the hospital. So the next thing which we'll be talking about, which our topic is kind of based on, is the medical training at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, specifically the medical student training. Now, is a rigorous process. It's actually under Bahrain University Kano, but the teaching hospital is attached to it. So we are meant to be within the teaching hospital, to be going to rounds together with the consultants, getting to learn directly on the patients and go to our classes to kind of go through case scenarios and all those kind of things. And we're expected to clerk patients, go to calls, and present to consultant. This is basically, in a nutshell, what the training in Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital is all about, based on the department you are. If you are in surgery, you are expected to attend the surgery, observe and ask questions and also jot what you see, and the consultant is expected to tell you the basics within the surgery which is being done. So it's just like you're expected to kind of be attached to the medical team which you are sent to. Okay. Now the next thing which we'll be talking about is the significance in northern Nigeria. Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital is kind of in a very good state. Kano is just like the most developed state in the northwestern region, and Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital situated here is a success because it has almost everything you will need, which will help the people, even people outside the state, because we used to see patients, a lot of them from other states, coming to Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, which is a great thing. So Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital being in this place have brought a lot of greatness to the northern community, and also the medical school being here, it has also helped a lot of people in the north to be able to stay behind and study properly, to be able to become good doctors and help people along the way. So the next thing is the realities of medical school, the truths and challenges. So let's look at this daily life of a medical student at Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. Let's just take it from the morning aspect, like starting from the morning. Based on your religion, if you are a Muslim, you wake up, pray. There is a timetable irrespective of the class you are. If you are in the teaching hospital, most classes start by 8, and you are expected to come to the class before the lecturer. Some lecturers come late, some lecturers come early, some lecturers come extremely early, like a professor in pediatric surgery who likes to even come before 8. So you come to the class, and the lectures is expected to hold between 1 hour to 1.5 hours, where a short topic is being taken. For example, they could take a topic on hypothyroidism. Since it's medicine, they are expected to tell you the clinical features, the investigations, and the treatment based on the environment we are in. So, and immediately after that, you are expected to go to the hospital, which is just adjacent to the school, to join your various team. There, when you join your team, you join the activities which they are doing currently. For example, if it's a consultant ward round, you join them and you follow them along each bed to be able to observe what the consultant is doing and answer the questions which the consultant is giving. And when you observe something, you are expected to ask questions respectively. You'll be giving the answers, and you are expected to also do hands-on, like practice some of the examination in the front of the examiner within the round 2. And most of the rounds do end around 1 p.m. So some do escalate to 2 p.m. So if the rounds end, it depends on the day. Some days you could have tutorials. So if you have tutorial, let's say tutorial by 2, so you're expected to go and pray if you are a Muslim, eat, and then come back to tutorial by 2 p.m. So at 2 p.m., most of the tutorial is topics have been given to medical students, which they'll create slide and they'll present, and they'll be asked question along the way. And after that, you are more or less likely done for the day, except if you have a call. That's your team have call. If your team have call, as I said, it's depend on the department you are in. If you are in surgery, there could be surgery you could join. If your team have call, then most calls start by 4 p.m. Then you join your team. At the call, you are expected to see emergency cases and learn directly there, see what the residents are doing, because most consultants don't come to call. So you learn from the residents and jot what you can jot. If you like jotting, if you don't like jotting, you understand what you can understand. And after that, calls are expected to end by 9, but due to changes, like due to the environment, people not getting by, every medical student is actually expected to be in the hostel, but there's no enough space for the people to live. I mean, we are struggling to get space. So many students are staying in a very limited place. So because of that, so many people are staying at home, and some people are married, so they have to go early. So that is typically how a day in a medical student in AKTH is. So challenges that are faced by students. Now the challenges are too much to even put on ground here. I mean, but let's start by the pressing one in relation to this. We don't have light for months now, but we used to have light, but we don't have light for months now. I just don't know how to explain how we are coping due to just look at the rigorous stuff, but life is meant to be stressed, so we are kind of pushing again and again. You have to rush to go and get charged. They are putting gen on around 6 p.m. and offing it around 10 p.m. So you have to rush from the activities, go back, put your gadgets into charge. And the fact that this is a digital time, or almost everybody's stuff is in the digital format, so you have to always try to charge your gadgets so that you will not be caught, because we normally use those stuff to do our readings. So imagine same with our lights. And water is a long time issue. I mean, we are still battling with water. Before you get water, good water to drink or cook, you have to carry your bucket down to long distances to get this water. There are two main challenges I will tell you about. Another challenge, it's kind of the mentor-mentee thing. It doesn't work here. I mean, forget that stuff. Like they get to link you to a lecturer, tell you that he's your mentor, and this lecturer literally doesn't teach you anything, doesn't even give you attention. All they do is just sign your logbook, and mentoring is done. I guess this is not what mentoring is about. If we are being frank to ourselves, check the dictionary. Mentoring is bigger than this. So that's one. That's another problem. And the education is not really centered on you learning. It's centered on let me come and do my business and go. The lecturer just wants to teach and go. He doesn't care whether the message have been understood properly. Actually, we are too much. Let me start from the concept that we are kind of close to 200 in class, or one something I've forgotten. So kind of battling with that is a problem too. But seriously, when it comes to teaching, it's most of the time is self-centered teaching. Most of the time we learn from things outside the school. And talking about the skills, how do you learn skill? A group of 14 people struggling to get skill from a patient who is struggling to get health. I mean, we don't have skill lab, and this is something we need. I mean, this is something that is literally very, very important to have. Okay, now because of the absence of skill lab, people just try their best, try to cram what they want to cram, because the concept of the medical school here is all about passing. It's not really about you becoming that good doctor. It's not that. People just want to pass, because most people are poor. Let me start from that. People just want to pass, have something to do, continue the business. Medicine is a business. Okay, I can't even remember let's even talk about the condition of the class. The condition of the class is kind of, to some extent, bad. I mean, these are chairs which can be renovated. We pay the highest tuition fee. We pay bench fee 60K. I mean, all these things, but they cannot renovate the chairs. The benches are there scattered, but nobody's looking forward to renovating these things. Wow. I mean, the things are much, as I said. If we keep on saying the problem, I mean, this podcast time will not even be enough for us to finish mentioning all the problems that we have in this medical school. And also, again, another prominent problem is also, you see, residents are being given allowance to teach medical students, but most of the medical students are not really ready to be present. But those ones that want to be present are not being taught, because most of the residents will tell you that you have to be in group for we to teach you. How could you put people in group? People that don't want to come, how could you make them come? I mean, it's a very big problem. I mean, you get to be moving helter skelter just to get a couple of knowledge, and when you feel they blame you. So the concept of this medical school here is just like you just have to know how to find your way out. I mean, nobody cares about you. Just put that at the back of your mind. I mean, even the person that you might think is a friend to you, it's probably not a friend to you. The whole thing here is so flawed that we are just pushing our way out of it. We still thank God for so many things, which I will talk about in front. So let's keep going. I'll be mentioning some of the problems too along the way. So another myth, or let me say misconception, which people, okay, we have not yet read the misconception. The impact of resource limitations. The impact of resource limitation can be overemphasized. Our library, now you have a lot of old books there which are kept like a decoration. It's meant to be a library, so it's meant to be a decoration. The librarians, they are staffs that they want to feed their family, so they just want to do something. I mean, it's not. This is a digital time. We don't even have a digital library. I guess you are getting where I'm going. And most of the material we need readily for our education and passing is not even there. You get to. I mean, Nelson could be in maybe edition 50, and you are having edition 10 in the library. So are we really growing, or we have been stagnant? I mean, we keep accusing our governments, but come down here and see what the teachers and everyone is doing here. You'll be amazed. The problem is like in a loop. Everybody's attached, everybody is concerned. So the next thing is, now I'd like to debunk some common myths and misconceptions. So they used to tell us that AKTH is the promised land. I like to say that AKTH is not a promised land. If you call it a promised land, I don't know what you mean by that. And I don't know what we are being promised. Because now the word used to be synonymous to saying that once you come to AKTH, like it's going to be flow, passive, it's not hard, it's not this. But if you take the statistic of the result from level 4 to 6 and statistics of result from level 1 to 3, who are in the preclinical, you see there is more failure in clinicals than preclinicals. I mean, you get to see a class of 100 people, only 50 are graduating first time, and later on after that you have a couple of people resitting, and you have maybe 2 or 3 or 6 maximum repeating. Go back to the preclinicals, you'd see a class maybe 170 and 150 cleared pass, and the remaining will resit. I mean, the concept, we need to understand that the more work is in the clinic, not in the preclinic. Though the foundation is in the preclinic, most of us make the mistake not building the foundation. The whole school, I like to say that even the school itself, it's not enabling the environment. So many things are scattered, but you got to know that medicine is a marathon, which you are expected to keep on building solid and concrete, genuine stuff along the way. So we can't go back and change things, but we can actually say things. So people who like to change and people who like to do the right thing would probably use it. Who knows? So the next thing is medical students have no social life. I like to say this is false. I mean, it depends on what you define as social. Like when you say social event or social life could be an Islamic gathering, could be a social event. A party could be a social stuff. It just depends. Social stuff is just like bringing people together. You understand? That's just what a social stuff means. So I like to say medical school, like medical students are one of the students that have most of the social life, like to the core. Like these people, let me start from the ladies aspect, like this marriage of a thing, 1 or 2 time class get married, they do get together, bridal shower, all those things are social stuff. Like medical students are not like monks. These gone are those time They don't do that again. Medical students play a lot of football. The football pitch in front of the hostel is almost always busy. They try to do something, innovate something, play chess, do something. So you need to remove that misconception. It's just like that. Most people have gotten the formula towards just doing this stuff, so they do some social stuff, and along the way they go back to their academics at the right time. All graduates are guaranteed job and residency. We can't overemphasize this thing. This stuff it's based on the country, it's based on the context, but for the residency concept, it's a very hard thing to get. Like, you need to stick out your head. You need to know that this is a war. Everyone wants to get into that stuff, and it's very hard. It's very hard to really get that stuff. And I hope to do a better episode with someone on this particular concept of getting into residency, though we've talked about some of these things in the cardiology episode. So some truths that often go unspoken. And the real learning environment, to some extent, we are trying. I mean to say, like, AKTH at least have a decent hospital for you to kind of go in, walk in at any time if you're serious enough, and do one or two things, learn what you can, even though with the problems that are on ground. Well, we are trying. Now, networking and support, we get some lecturers who have gone for Prof. Jamil and co. You get to get some networking with these guys, like connections with these guys, which will boost your connectivity, and this is a plus, and most people don't get to know. And support, it's depends on which kind of person. People are different, but we get some good lecturers that help to support students, help them get to great heights. And these successes and triumphs, great alumni. BUK have graduated a lot of great people, even through the hardship. Despite all the stuffs I talk about, I still want to let you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. We have Dr. Mispa, who is currently the VP of the Nigerian Spine Society. And we have Prof. Jamil. We have so many people. When you browse, when you come to see these people, they've really done well. We have Prof. Hadiza Galadenchi also, and so on. I mean, these people have really done great things, and these people are people who are attached to Bayero University Kano. And now, faculty contributions. One or two places the faculty get to contribute and help the people. We thank God, we are grateful of that, but I can't recall much. To be frank. And now, innovations and improvements. I see they've repaired a road within the clinic. When I was here, there was no road. Even though the road is halfway completed, I see they've kind of did this, what they call it, a small taps in close to the female hostel, which is not functional to some extent. Those are the things I've seen, based with regards to welfareism or regards to teaching. There is a lot of things, there's a lot of stuffs they've improved, but I don't know much about those stuff. So these are the basic ones I do know. And for future direction, we like to say we expect more hostels. There's no hostel. I mean, students are suffering because of hostel. We expect steady lights, water. We expect to see skill lab. I mean, the future people to come and enjoy this stuff. This have been a great episode for me. I love every minute of this episode. I mean, I like you to like, subscribe, and share to your friends. And most importantly, listen to everything. I mean, listen to the gem, listen to the knowledge here. Thank you very much. Till we meet in the next one.